Welcome to today's webinar. In this webinar, we'll be going to see Agentforce in action. So, we have different types of agents inside the Salesforce, and we'll be going through utilize those capabilities in order to understand how Agentforce can able to utilize these particular features. So, in this particular webinar, we'll be just going through the Agentforce for employees, Agentforce for service. Apart from that, we have the Agentforce for the co-workers and Agentforce Grid. So we'll be having the use case around this, and that use case you can able to understand from the demo purpose how this particular agent can be utilized for the different business purposes. So let me take you to the another screen. So here you can able to see uh, we are talking about the agenda. So we'll be first going to understand the Agentforce portfolio. Apart from that, what is the purpose of Agentforce for employees? What is the purpose for Agentforce for service? Basically, service agent. And after that, we'll be going to cover co-worker as well. And after that, we'll be having the demo on what is the purpose of Agentforce for the co-workers. Like why we are utilizing this. Uh, it is also known as your search agent as well, basically utilizing it for the search whenever we require any specific search throughout the agent. So at that time, it can able to utilize that. Apart from that, we have the Agentforce Grid demo, and inside this, we'll be having one use case. Inside this, we'll be understanding why Agentforce Grid is utilizing throughout this capabilities is going to utilize throughout the Agentforce. And after that, we understand the business impact. And then this session is followed by the question and answers. So whatever the question throughout the session, you can park this for now. So we just understand what is the purpose, like why we are using this, what is the purpose of the agent. So first thing is we got so many volumes whenever we are talking about the agent force, and whenever we are talking about any specific requirement that is followed by your human agent or virtual, you can say like human is assisting any specific use case. So at that time, most of the things, most of the requests, like more volume, more requests are coming to your end. And at that time, it's very different, like whenever we are talking to any specific person, we have the manuals that we have to go through. We have specific thing that is defining, okay, like very specifications to any specific products. When any specific requirements comes to you, it's very difficult for us to understand and give the instant response. Apart from that, whenever we are going for any specific product, we purchase that product and we are asking for any support. So at that time, it's very important for us. Okay, so let's say you are going for any specific product. So you should supposed to get the instant answers, because if someone is asking you to wait for one business day and they are coming up with nothing, that is again frustrating thing, because you are spending your amount. And whenever we are spending the specific amount, the most important part is you should supposed to get the service instantly, we should supposed to get the things early. So at that time, again, it's very frustrating if someone is keeping you on hold. Apart from that, cost is again, like whenever we are talking about any customer service, so whatever the customer representatives are there, they are not specifically functional, or they are not expertise of that specific product. So they can have the whole command on the business, but whenever any specific thing comes to them, they can also go to their knowledge base, they can also look for the related solution, and they will come back to you. So that is the most important thing which will be going to address with the help of the agent. So let me take you to the agent force portfolio. So we have these four capabilities in this particular session. First one is Agentforce for employees. Second one is Agentforce for service. Third one is Agentforce co-worker. And after that, we have the agent grade. So whenever we are talking about the employee, so this agent is actually sitting inside your particular org, which can help you to support, like fetch any specific information, create any record, like summarize any specific thing. That all capabilities that particular agent has, which can, sit along with you and perform the task with you. After that, whenever we are talking about the customer service, So at that time, that service agent can be hosted on either on any website. You can have this agent on any specific site or the portal where you are performing that specific operation for the service, where it can able to answer or escalate that. Okay, so whenever any specific thing comes to that specific agent, so at that time it can able to identify that specific requirement. It will identify the intent of the user. Based on that, after identifying the intent of the user, that specific agent can able to answer the questions, whether that answer resides inside your database or that answers could be reside inside any specific unstructured data. So whenever we are talking about the generative AI, we got this specific feature where you are not only understanding the context, but you can able to generate the response based on understanding that specific content. Okay, so like we are just understanding the intent of that specific user. Based on that, we are following the specific things. Now after that, we have the Agentforce Coworker. So let's say your business wants something, let's say there are so many records and you just wanted to quickly summarize anything. You wanted to draft anything specific to that specific record. So at that time, you cannot go specific to that specific record. Let's say you wanted to check the related record to my business or any specific person that you are going to meet, and on the basis of that you have to draft something or you have to take the follow up. So it's very difficult. So at that time, you have the agent force coworker comes into the picture, who is not only sitting inside your Salesforce but providing the summary, generating the drafts that you can able to do within a minutes. So you can only talk to that specific agent just the way you talk to the your employees, and that specific agent can able to bring whatever the summary, whatever the draft that you are getting, and out of that you can able to draft this all these things with the help of your coworker. Now at the end, we have the agent grade. Now agent grade is something where you are getting the spreadsheet. You can able to understand like a kind of a Google sheet or Excel sheet. You are getting the record rows over there. Now based on that, you can utilize so many things. Let's say you just wanted to bring any specific prompt template, you wanted to bring any specific AI agent, you wanted to utilize the AI, as the way we have different types of AI models. Now this comes into the picture because like whenever we are talking about the other LLM models, businesses are oftenly talking about what is happening with my data if I provide this. So at that time, whenever we are dealing with the financial domains, whenever we are talking about the healthcare domain, whenever we are talking about any other domain where the data privacy is the most important concern, so to address that, we have the agent grade, where you can actually able to grab the records from your Salesforce, where you can able to actually grab the records from your data cloud. And apart from that, you can able to utilize other capabilities which I said earlier as well, like you can use the any LLM models from your AI. You can utilize the prompt builder. You can utilize your any specific like specific data cloud related thing. And apart from that, let's say you have any companion orgs, so that also you can able to ingest the data from the data cloud. All these capabilities have been opened with this particular Agentforce portfolio. Now let's take a deep dive into Agentforce for employees. So generally, we have seen that whenever we are working on any specific thing, let's say you got any specific policy, and let's say you are the customer base, or let's say you are working inside your IT company, and any specific HR related policy has been recently announced. So at that time, it's very important, like your employees are consistently asking you, and you get so many huge questions of volumes. So at that time, it's very important, like in order to understand that specific intent and to address that specific questions. So at that time, you can able to utilize the agent force for employees. Okay, so whatever the data is provided inside that policy, you can draft that data from the data cloud, feed that data via Agentforce data library to specific Agentforce, and in the way you can able to get the answer just by providing whatever the query that you are facing over there. Now let's check this into the action, how this particular agent looks like, what are the specific things that we are getting out of this agent. So let me quickly share my screen so that we can able to jump on top of it. Okay, so basically here we have the interface of the Salesforce. Now inside this particular interface, we have this agent. Okay, so we have created this as an agent for support agent. Now whenever we are talking about the support agent, first thing comes to your mind is it will be going to provide the support. Okay, so whatever the question that you are asking to this particular agent, it will be going to fetch that specific request and it will provide that request as an output to you. So whenever I'm drafting anything, let's say I just wanted to request the leave of absence. So at that time, I'm just passing this specific prompt over here. You can able to see it has simply gone through whatever the data source I have, and from that data source, it brought me that specific answer and it's presenting me over here. Now you can ask additional follow-up questions. Okay, so let's say you just wanted to, like any specific thing that you wanted to ask from here. So how many business days, let's say it's going to ask that specific requirement and you can able to understand. Let's say you have the huge response over there and you just wanted to get the clarification on any specific thing. So at that time AI is also capable of RAG, ritual augmentation generation. So whatever the request that you are asking to that specific agent, it can go and it can ask this. Now let's say you just wanted to change any specific health plan from your HR policy. So how you can able to manage that? So I'm just pasting this prompt and you can able to check it over here. Now this particular plan has recently came into the effect. So at that time you can also get the recommendation. So, like based on this recommendation, you can also ask the follow-up questions to your agent. So that's how your employee agent works along with your internal support team, which can able to access the data. Let's say there are the policies. If you are talking about the finance domain, if you are talking about the healthcare domain, if you are talking about the banking domain. So at that time, it's very important, like every single information you cannot put into your mind, or you cannot go and you cannot check that specific information, right? So at that time your agent force employee agent comes into the picture, so that inside the same interface you can address the queries, you can address your customer responses. Okay, so all these things can be done using this specific agent. Okay, now let me take you back to the PPT. The most important thing, whenever we are raising any specific concern to the IT team, generally they come with, uh, just provide me this detail. Instead of that, if you are having a specific knowledge base over there, you can get the faster resolution. So that's how your agent force employee agent can help the teams internally, just by understanding what intent they are looking for, what queries they are asking for, and based on that, like you can again have the lower cost per internal tickets. You can directly address these tickets from your Agentforce employees. Now, talking about the second capability, which is Agentforce for service. So understand this, like let's say you are selling any specific product, and after that there is no specific service for that specific whatever the product or whatever the service that you are like giving to your agent. So at that time your customer get frustrated, and whatever the customer satisfaction ratio is also get decreased. So at that time your customer for service agent, basically customer service agent, comes into the picture. Let's say you have the bills, you have the warranty that you have to claim, whatever the details here that you have to ask. Apart from that, let's say this particular portal, whatever the like whatever the thing I have shown to you, that was for the specific related to uh, internal peoples only. Let's say only specific people can able to access and they can able to utilize that. Now talking about the employee agent is actually working inside your environment. Now talking about the service agent who is going to utilize whatever the sources that you are providing over there, and he can able to address the issues over there. Now let me take you to the service agent interface, how it looks like. So you can put that specific agent on any portal, any site, whether you are having the existing portal, whether you are having the existing things inside the place, so that you can able to address that. So let me take you quickly to the portal. So this is our portal. So employees, internal employees, let's say internal team can able to access that, but whatever the team who are working inside your organization, they don't have the access to that portal. from, let's say, from the Salesforce. Now they have only this particular portal from where they can able to log in and they can able to ask the queries. So let's say you just wanted to ask any specific thing, the agent will join and he will resolve your queries over here. So let's say agent has joined, I'm passing my prompt again. Now here again you can able to see agent is thinking and it's giving me the answer quickly. So that's how again you can able to see over here, this particular PDF is coming from my source object, basically the source system. So that's how you can able to manage the so many things over here. Again you can ask the follow-up questions. It will be again utilizing the same features that we have utilized inside the Agentforce employee agent. Service agent is also working on the same parameters. Only one thing, let's say you wanted to communicate with a human loop. So let's say you are addressing the specific loop over here. So we have specific specialized people. The way you are asking the question, they can identify the intent and they can escalate to you. So let's say we just wanted to escalate to the human, so we just have to type the escalate or transfer. Now whoever is sitting person next to this particular agent, he can able to pick that specific request and he can address that. So that's how your employee agent can work, service agent can work. Now whatever the request that he is getting inside the Salesforce, he is having the whole record history of that specific customer. He can able to actually get into that specific record and he can able to provide the specific requirements. All these things reducing your time, whatever the functional cost that is situated to this particular operations is again get reduced. You're getting the instant replies. You don't have to wait for the additional day, you can say the business day, in order to get your query resolved. So that's how your customer service agent works. Now talking about the next slide. So we have the co-worker here. So let's understand from the business perspective. So this agent are supporting the employee agent. This agent are supporting to the customer service as well. Now we have the agent force co-worker. Let's say your business people or the management people, whoever is going to talk to any specific person or like engaging with any specific business. So they just wanted to understand what is the background of the business, what we already did with this particular business, what is the cases, whatever the opportunity or the deal we got, whatever the product they have already purchased, whatever the previous conversation that has been happened. You want all those summaries inside your Salesforce. So there comes your co-worker into the picture. So in order to draft anything, in order to get the summary out of whatever the data which is existing inside your Salesforce, you want all these things inside the Salesforce within a specific format, inside a single view. So all these things can be achievable from your Agentforce co-worker. So let me share you the screen where we can able to actually go to Agentforce co-worker. Okay, so here you can able to see this specific ask button came over here. If I just click on this ask button, you can able to see this interface. Now this is your co-worker which is actually working in order to find out, in order to catch up, in order to plan anything. Whatever the data we can able to see over here, it's coming from the Salesforce org. Now you can connect additional orgs as well. Let's say you have the any like companion org that you can connect via your data cloud. Even though you have the external system that you can able to utilize just by ingesting the same data from the data cloud, and that's how you can able to utilize that. Now let's say we have one business. Let's say we have the Acme over here. Okay, so Acme is one business which is inside my Salesforce. I just wanted to understand what is the background of the Acme. So whatever the thing we have provided to that. So let's say we have to simply pass the way we are talking to any specific human. We have to simply pass that instruction over here. So tomorrow we have a meeting with Acme. Tell me the brief summary of Acme. Okay, now it will go and it will, the way we are utilizing the MCP server or headless 360, the simple way it's going to identify this all records from the system. It will generate the comprehensive summary and it will give you to you. So basically you can able to see now it has recently gone through the accounts. It has got the cases as well, opportunity, context, everything, every single view you are getting over here. The way you are talking to your customer, you want any specific details. Okay, so let's say draft me a summary as I want another deal with Acme. So let's say you are getting the summary as you wanted to close the deal. So whatever the snapshot we are getting over here, whatever the detail we are getting over here, so you can able to see the previous opportunity, and it's again giving the recommended steps to you as well. Okay, so basically what could be the specific agenda, what you have to talk to them. So let's say what I can talk to Acme. Again, it will going to understand your intent, and based on that it will provide you everything. So let's say if any newbie is coming to your company and he don't know about any specific client that you have inside in the existing or in past, and he has to talk, so at that time whatever the things you can able to see over here, let me just zoom in a bit. So you can able to see whatever the business context that we want from this agent, it's giving up to me. Now let's say you wanted to draft the follow-up email, you can able to generate that. You don't have to think about whatever the thing that you have in past, whatever the previous background of this client, everything has been hand to hand managed by your coworker. So that's what you can able to get from the Agentforce coworker. So that's what, like you just have to copy this and you just have to paste it, and then you can able to utilize this. As of now, we are utilizing the only this feature, but down the line, if you wanted to draft any email or send an email, that also you can able to do that. Okay. Now coming back to our Agentforce slide. So you can see within a less time, you are not dependent on the admin, and you are not only doing the conversation, you are not dependent on any specific conversation. You are getting all this data within your Salesforce, or without, without accessing any specific record, you are getting everything, and that is drafting without, getting into the human loop. And we also say that, human judgment says always stays inside the loop. So that is the main thing. So whatever the thing, you just have to pass from this specific agent force coworker, and that is bringing that specific information drafted to you. Now talking about the main capability that Agentforce Grid, or you can say the Agent Grid, that is provided throughout these days, and this is the hot topic these days. So understand, let's say we have multiple records. Now earlier we have the field generation prompt template. We generally utilize it in order to generate the things. Now that is only working whenever you're clicking on any specific icon which is provided or coming up with this field generation capability. Apart from that, you can utilize your, specific to any specific field generation. You have to create the trigger. You have to write down any specific, apex over there. Now, agent grid is something which is a kind of a sheet. You can actually see your data. Based on that data, you can generate the fields. You can generate the values as well. Now, whenever it comes to the grid, you can able to ingest the data from any CSV file. You can get the data from the Salesforce. You can filter out that data. If you wanted to bring the data from the data cloud as well, you can even bring that data. Now, let me take you to the agent grid. Okay, fine. So inside this window, I have created this grid warranty claim. So we have object inside the Salesforce, which is storing the warranty grid related things. Okay. So basically, whatever the things we are getting out of specific record, that we can able to showcase over here. Okay. So these are the records which we are getting. So generally, user fills some forms, or user create any specific thing related to the warranty claim, and that's how the data coming inside your Salesforce. Now, whenever we are talking about the specific grid, you can able to see, you can actually go and create the grid over here. So if I just click on any specific, let's say we wanted to bring the records from the Salesforce. All right, so I'm just giving the name over here, and here you can able to see I'm selecting the objects as well. And if you just save and run, if you just click on that, you can actually see how many records we have inside the system from the warranty grade. So like you can able to see there are total 35 records. Whatever the fields that you can able to get out of this record, you can see over here. You can add specific fields over here. Let's say we want the name, we want the region, we want the customer name, we want the like criticality of this specific case, and is there any specific record attached. You want to check the recommendation as well. All these things you can bring from this record, and you can able to check the data as well. So some details are missing. We are just going to utilize the prompt in order to utilize the details over there. So I'll be adding few more details, okay, just by adding the columns over here. So we are almost added the columns from this specific object into the grid. And now you can able to see, if you just scroll a bit on the right side, you can able to see there are so many things available. Now what are the capabilities that we are getting along with this grid? Okay, so if you just click on this column, you can able to see you can import the data, you can do the AI analysis, you can manually input the data, you can import the data from the Salesforce, you can import the data from the data cloud, you can utilize the text as a part of the column. Apart from that, you can utilize the AI for any specific column. You can utilize the agent. You can utilize the agent test. Let's say you have to perform some test based on this data. That also you can able to do over here. Apart from that, you can also look up into any specific related object. Similarly, for the data cloud, as we know, like there is a relationship that has been followed inside the Salesforce. All these things you can able to do. You can also able to create the formula field. You can also evaluate your data. You can update your data. Again, in case of any invocable action, that again you can able to perform. And whatever the web search, let's say you are getting any specific record over here. So at that time you have to perform any specific web search, that also you can able to do. Now I have created one specific AI prompt over here. So in this specific use case, we are not actually utilizing any specific, like prompt. We are actually utilizing the specific, like instruction that we are simply passing to the AI. Okay. So let me quickly open this. So here you can able to see these are my LLM instruction. I'll be simply copying this instruction. Okay. Now these are the instruction. Basically, you have to create as per like your company requirement. Let's say if any specific thing comes into this specific criteria, you have to return this type of answer, or you have to return this type that type of answer. That is something we are going to do over here. Now I'll be adding the column here. I'll be using the AI. Here you can able to select any model. Only the thing is your data is inside your Salesforce. Whatever the Einstein trust layer is trusting, like securing your data, getting exposed to any third party. And I'll be selecting GPT-5 here. You can select any model. Okay. Now we have this particular things. Let's say we want the product column. So I can able to get the product. So product model, yeah, this one. So the this way you can able to reference the specific field. Once you click on run, it will start generating the response. So I'll be just utilizing this field as a AI response. And once I click on run, you can actually see how many credit this particular response is taking over here. And once you click on save and run, you can see the response is getting generated. All right, so we missed some input over here. So let me, for now, let me just remove some of them, and let me just rerun it. All right, let me again check this. We have the warranty status. Let's pass it over here. So just by annotating that specific one, you can actually go and you can actually check that specific field over here. Now you can again take the intake channel. Let's say we got the intake channel here. Okay, so I think we just missed the intake channel. So let's take this. I will just click save and run, and we are missing with the intake channel. That's why we are getting that specific thing. So I will just go here. I'll just bring specific. So let me just bring the data, and here you can able to see the intake channel field is available. Yeah, this one. So you can utilize this field inside the prompt that we are utilizing here. And here, if I go to specific AI response, you can see as soon as I have added that field, you can see the response has been generated. Now, if you just check this, you can able to check whatever the things are available here. You can able to check that. Now, if I just take you to any specific record from here, so you can able to see some fields having the value, some field don't have value. So let's say you don't have the recommended action, or let's say you don't have the AI reasoning. So let's populate that values as well with the help of the AI inside the grid. So whatever the number of records, because like whenever we are updating any specific record with the help of the AI, or utilizing it inside the trigger or inside the flow, we got the governor limits over there. So whenever we are talking about the synchronized and asynchronized method, so at that time we have to bound with some limitations. So whenever we are talking about the grid, this limitation has been bypassed. So let's add additional field, use AI. Now I'll simply pass one instruction. So I'll be just passing this. From this response, what field we want. So we want recommended action. Okay, let's say let's pass this. All right, now let's run this. So you can able to see it generating the response. Okay, so basically you can able to see the response has been generated. Now if you just add additional column here, you get the update record as well. So here, let's say we wanted to utilize the recommended action, and you can simply utilize the value from this specific AI response. Once I save and run this, you can able to get the updated record value as well. So it's right now updating. Once updated, you can actually check what is the value coming for that specific record. So let's understand what is the use case of that. So whenever we are talking about any specific record, or let's say any specific requirement, whenever we are talking about like healthcare domain, whenever we are talking about like banking domain, finance domain, so at that time it's very critical, like taking the decision. So at that time, if you just create any specific guardrail so that your agent can follow and it can able to take that response and take that decisions. So right now the field value is not there. Let me just refresh it, and you can able to see the value is updated. No specific thing has been involved inside this. Okay, we haven't written a single line of code, we haven't written any specific thing, only AI instruction. Apart from that, you can create the prompt template, let's say for multiple, or you can say the continuous usage you just wanted to utilize it, so you can also utilize the prompt templates as well. We got variety of prompt templates, again you can create that and you can utilize this. Okay, so this particular actions are going to specify and like saving your time. Okay, so let me take you to the PPT again. So, like you will be getting the faster resolution, whether you are working for any warranty claim, whether you are working for any policy claim, you don't have to go and dig into specific things. You are just interacting on the spreadsheet, and there you are just utilizing it, and you are just updating the record inside the Salesforce. Whatever the decision that you are taking over here, whatever the wrong decision that manual errors happen generally, that is again getting avoided. Okay. So let's understand the business impact of all these four capabilities over here. So you'll be getting the faster responses, whatever the time that will be utilizing over here, that will be getting lower. Like you will be getting the instant resolution, whatever the costs associated to any specific like service case or the customer case, that is again getting lower over here. Apart from that, whatever the customer satisfaction getting increased, so you'll be getting the higher CSAT value. And apart from that, this particular thing is like consistent. So every single time you are getting any specific thing, so you can immediately go and you can check that. So that is again like whatever the trust that having from the customer side on specific product, that is again getting increased. So whatever the high volume, whatever the like cross functional thing that you want to do, that you can easily do with the help of these capabilities. And agent handles the repeatable work. Your people handle the judgmental calls. Everyone get their time back. So that's the main thing that we can conclude over here. Now, do we have any questions